everyone, it's Jennifer, and I know it's been a very long periodically time, but I am finally back with another video. Um, I have been very busy in life. It's just been a whole lot. It's been like over a year since I posted a tutorial, and since this is my first tutorial in a year, I figured I would do something very simple just to get back into the swing of, making tutorials and stuff. I'm going to be showing you how to make makeup, well, specifically how to make eyeshadow in The Sims 4. Um, Specifically, I'm going to show you how to, if you like to do makeup like me, like I love doing makeup, I love makeup, I own a lot of makeup, just something I like to do personally. And have you ever just looked at yourself, if you're a Sims player, and you looked at yourself in the mirror, you're like, ooh, this makeup looks really good today. I would love to see that on my Sim self. Well, you can do that, and it's actually very easy to do. And so I just figured I'd do a tutorial showing you how to do that because, yeah, it's kind of fun to do. I love to make makeup. That's actually the most fun I have when I'm making stuff for The Sims. And anyway, hopefully this will not be the last tutorial I make for a year. Let's get on with it. So let's start with what I always start with, what things you're going to need to do this. This is very simple. This is a completely free tutorial. Of course, it's on YouTube, but this is a completely free tutorial, meaning everything that you're about to see is going to be free, very much so. So first thing you're going to need is Sims 4 Studio. And this is what it looks like. And honestly, I'll leave the link in the description to all of these things, but literally you can just Google all of this stuff. It's all free and it's, very easy to download. But you're going to need this because this is how basically you get the stuff in the game. And this is also for beginners. If you've never made anything in The Sims before, this is for you. I personally started off making makeup for The Sims 4. Now, it looked like doo-doo. It was not cute. His hair was uneven. It looked dusty. Beyond Scared Straight reference for those of you who know. Anyway, it was not cute. But I first ever started making, lipstick and then eyeshadow. And again, it looked terrible, but this is how I started. This is what I started, and then you have to have this first because this is how you get the stuff in the game. Next thing you're going to need is a photo editing software. I prefer Gimp. And this is what Gimp looks like. I prefer Gimp. Photoshop, I do have. Photoshop is not free. So that's why I'm not showing you Photoshop. But Photoshop is the bane of my existence when it comes to me making custom content because I just don't. It's not as user-friendly as Gimp is, in my opinion. Anyway, I use Gimp, so I'm going to be showing you from Gimp. Basically, almost everything you can do in Gimp or everything you can do in Photoshop, you can do in Gimp. So it's ultimately the same type of deal, just one is Photoshop and one is Gimp. And then lastly, you're going to need a picture. Now, there's a few different ways you can make eyeshadow in The Sims. I guess I can show you both in this video, but in all honesty, I think I might just show you this way. This is the way I do it. You're going to need a picture of your eyeshadow, okay? Yes, this is my eye. I look a hot-ass mess. I look crazy. My concealer is creasing. I've been sweating right here, y'all, okay? I look a hot-ass mess, but I liked this eyeshadow that I did, and so I figured this would be nice to see in the game. So you're going to need a good picture of your eyeshadow or lipstick or whatever, because really the same thing applies to lipstick as well. If you want to put that on your Sim, some lipstick you had on that you thought, ooh, that's cute. Anyway, get a better picture than what I have, but this is what I have right here. I'm just not a good picture taker. That's just it. Also, I forgot, other thing you're going to need, this template. This template right here, you're going to need this to make sure you place it correctly onto your Sim. The mapping, that's what this is for. Now, let's just go ahead and get started. So first thing you want to do, you want to get your picture of your eye and you want to go open with Gimp. And it's going to load up. And if this comes up, y'all, I kid you not, I don't know what it means. I just click convert. I don't know what it means. Never had a problem before when I just click convert. Next thing you want to do, you want to get to your template and you want to open it up. You want to right click on it as well. Open with Gimp. And there they go. Now, next thing we really want to do, we don't need my eyebrow. We don't need this part of my cheek and nose region. So really the first thing we want to do is crop this. So I'll just go over here to the crop tool. And in all honesty, y'all, I think I set this oh my God. I set this layout up like this. So yours may look a little different. But this is the crop tool. If you don't see this over here like this, don't be alarmed. Go over here to tools. And this is where you will see all of the different tools. You can, okay, selection tool, paint tool, transform tool, crop. Okay, that's if it's not over here. Anyway, so I'm going to click on that. And I'm just going to select the whole thing first. But you can hover around here and move this down. Don't move it down too far. I'd say move it around. I might keep just my eyebrow in it because we're going to do more. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to go here. And then around here. And then just click in the middle. And there, it's cropped. So the next thing that you want to do is go over here to layers. Make sure you're on layers. You want to right click. And you want to click add alpha channel. And your history should be here. If your history is not here, go to Windows, dockable dialogues, undo history right here in my face, undo history. Click that and that should put that over here. It's going to be this back arrow. So if you messed up on something or you don't like what you did, you can very easily get back to what you were doing and go back and forth. Now keep in mind now, if you do that and you go back up here and you start doing something else, it's going to get rid of everything that you did afterwards. Keep that in mind. You might have already known that, but just in case you didn't, this is for beginners once again. Anyway, we added our alpha channel. Now we're going to go over here to our eraser. Again, if you don't see the eraser there, very simple. You go up to tools and you really click on each one of these until you can find the eraser. The eraser is under paint tools. So you're going to go here. Now, when you're erasing, there's a few things you want to make sure you do, because if you go in with the eraser like it is, number one, this is what you're going to be looking like. Crazy as hell. So we're going to click back on add alpha channel. We want to undo that. We're going to make the size bigger. And on actuality, this is huge, y'all. You want to make the brush as big as you really need to. I'd say that I got it at 342. This was just a large image on my phone, I guess. Oh, I hope this looks good. Oh boy. Anyway, so next thing you want to do, hardness and force. Now, if you don't see this box, you might not see this box over here. If you don't see this box, go up here to Windows, dockable dialogues, tool options. Once you click on that, it'll be this little, I don't know what the fuck this is. I'm sorry for my language. That looks like a TV. I'm pretty sure it's not a TV, but that's what it's going to look like. And that's where you can control the size, the aspect ratio, angle, spacing, all of that, right? So we want to bring our hardness down pretty far. We don't want this very hard. And what hardness means is, let me show you what I can tell you. If we got hardness and force at 100%, this is what it's going to look like. You literally click and a perfect circle will erase. That is not what we want. Okay, we want this to be kind of, I don't want to say gradient. I don't really want to say feathered out, but we don't want it that harsh because you don't want that on your Sam's eye. That looks stupid. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and kind of play around with it. Honestly, I usually put them around 10 and just kind of start and see what I get. But if you notice how that went, it's not just super harsh. See, if I'm pressing the circle right here, pressing it, and it's taking me all that just to erase that one part. When we had it at 100, it was like really like you just press it and it's a circle of erase. Okay, we don't want that. So sometimes I put them down lower. Sometimes you have to put the opacity down. I call it opacity, but apparently I've been saying it wrong. You got to bring that down sometimes, because that will make it just look better. Because if you notice, I don't know if you can notice this. Sometimes what you have to do is download a just a black background, just black, or if you can go up in Gimp and just paint something black and just, that's it. And then open it up in Gimp, and you can click on this, press down on this, bring it up, bring it over, and drop it. Because sometimes what you might have thought you erased good wasn't that good erased. And then you bring it up in somewhere that has a black background and it's looking crazy as hell. So if you go over here and you unsee this black background, you might think, oh, I erased it good. But then you turn the black on. No, I look a hot ass mess. I still have several pieces of the image still showing. So, okay, that's that for now. We'll close out of that for now. Discard. So get over here and just be careful when you do that. That's when you lessen the opacity of it. So go to about 84%. And just start erasing. Once you get around here is where you want to be kind of slight with your movements. You want to be slight because the objective is not to erase the actual eyeshadow. You know, my skin we want to erase because one thing I want to make sure, this makeup is dark skin friendly. Okay, I am very light skin. Yes, I am fully black and I am yellow, very, very light. Okay, and I don't want me showing up on the darn Sims. If I'm gonna put it on a Sim who is not my same type of complexion, that's not gonna look good. That's not fair to that Sim to be looking like that, looking crazy, because I was up here looking crazy. Okay, so really we just want to continue to erase, and we're gonna erase my we're gonna, you know, just kind of get around here. We don't want no eyelashes showing. We don't want no cheek hair showing. We don't want none of that. And as I said, probably, I'm almost certain there is still much of my skin that is actually in this picture. But because we have the opacity on 85 and we have the alpha channel on, we really can't see it that good. So really start getting it into the shape of the eye, how it would go on the eye, you know, the Sim's eye. We want to cut out all of that. We don't need none of that up in there. We don't need no eyelashes. Now, if you got a few eyelash hair showing, I mean, there's really not a problem because, I mean, yeah, don't erase too much, but that's what the undo history is there for. So what we're going to do now, because I kind of feel like this is good. And again, you guys, you can do this with your own eyeshadow, or you can go on Google and type in eyeshadow and find whatever you want to find, crop it down, do this exact same thing. I'm just doing this on myself because I like this eyeshadow look and I wanted to see it on the Sim. Now, if you know anything about pixels and pictures and things of that nature, you already probably can tell that this image being so big and the Sims template being so small. Oh shoot, I forgot to put on here. I'm going to put this in my notes to write over that picture. When I showed y'all the template earlier, this is the HQ template. As you can see right here, it's 2048 4096. So this is the HQ if you want to do HQ textures. It's also bigger so that way it's just helpful with making, like, if you have such a huge image and you're trying to make a huge thing fit on a small thing, that's the better template to have. Because if you do the basic template, it's fine, same process. It's going to take a lot to make it look presentable. Anyway, so next thing we want to do, that black background we had earlier, we want to open that up. And forgive me if this is all over the place. I try to explain things well, but it's been a very long time. So just forgive me. Anyway, we're going to, once again, hold down the left mouse, click, drag, up and over. And we're going to look and see, where do I still have makeup at? That should not be. Really, you can finish your erasing in here. You really can. Now the problem is, I have, this might look like my skin tone, but really that's the color of the eyeshadow, because that eyeshadow I had on like a light brownish-ish color, and then a dark brown, and then I did a cut crease. But If you want to completely just have the cut crease there, great, perfect, whatever. All right. I feel like I'm happy with that. It could be better, but then again, this is not about perfection. This is just really a how do we do this? Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go over here to the channels, layers, and we're going to unsee the black, and actually you can just delete layer if you want. I just changed the size, really, that's all I did. And then let's do the same thing. Hold down the left mouse, click, drag up and over, and it's gonna paste. Now this looks insanity right now. It is insanity. Go down here and go to about 50. This is so huge. I hope this looks right, y'all. And we're gonna crop this. We gotta scale it, right? We gotta scale it. And now, if you know anything about pickles, if you know anything about pickles, you know they're good. If you know anything about pixels, you know that whenever you are scaling an image, it loses pixels. When you scale it down, it loses pixels. And so it might look a little, crazy, but there are tools to help with that. Now, right here, it still looks good. But once you hit scale, you'll see what I mean. And this happens whether you're in Gimp, Photoshop, or whatever. Photoshop might be a little better with this. Same type of deal. Anyway, then as you make it smaller, you can fix this. So we're going to go to 200. And we're going to move this around. I like that size. And I like how that looks. Okay. I like that. So what we're going to go ahead and do is hit scale. That actually doesn't look as terrible as I thought it would, y'all. All right, so I like how this looks. Even though it looks kind of crazy, it's going to look real crazy in a second. You'll see. What you want to do now is you want to export this. And when I say export this, I mean unsee the template. Because if you try to export it with the template on, no, just don't. Unsee the template. All we'll have is this. It might look a little crazy. First of all, what we're going to do is see what it looks like in the Sims 4 Studio. Now, I'll show you how to open up the Sims 4 Studio and do all that. But first thing we want to see is what it looks like in the Sims 4 Studio. I check back and forth between the Sims 4 Studio, the Sims, and Gimp a lot. I'm not going to do all of that during this process, but I will, you'll see what I mean. Anyway, so have you a folder. I'm very, very organized, or I try to be very organized when it comes to this stuff. So as you can see, I have this PC documents, S4S Stuffs Official. That's really just my whole CC making folder of all the stuff I use. Then I have texture export files, and then I did tutorial eye. Okay, I put new folders. All of these are folders. That's very simple to do. Once you do that, and if you don't know how to make a folder, this is for beginners again. Wherever you are, if you're on your desktop, if you're on anywhere, go right click in the empty space, click new folder, type up whatever you want, A, B, C, D, E. That's a new folder. Okay, that's not the folder we're going to use, but that's how you do that. I'm going to delete that now. Anyway, so we're going to put this over, and we're going to go to File, Export As. And then get to the folder that you just made and save it as something. I love to number things. Numbering things makes my life so easy. Okay, once you did that, we're going to go up in Sims 4 Studio. When you get up in here, if you never did this before, create your name, do whatever. This is me. If you see Johnny Lee MJ, okay, on the interweb, and it has to do with Sims, it's probably me. Unless somebody stole my identity. Because a lot of people are like, oh, how can I find your stuff? Johnny Lee MJ, almost everywhere. Anyway, we're going to go to cast. We're going to leave this, create cast standalone, cast. Okay, all this is going to load up. You don't really need to do any of that. The search engine in this is pretty good. Eyeshadow. It doesn't matter which one you pick, really and truly. Pick a base game one if you can. But in all truth, it doesn't matter. I click this one. Next. Tutorial. I'm saving everything in tutorial eye for now. Of course, until it's time to put in the game, then I'm going to put it in the game. Of course, we know how to download mods. And yeah, tutorial eye. This is what I'm saving it as. Tutorial eye Johnny. Whatever. Save. Whatever you want to save it as. We get in here. And we can see the eyeshadow that this doll has on already. Really and truly, none of that matters. What you want to do is import. Go to wherever you just saved what you did in Gimp. Tutorial eye. Double click. Now, this look janky as hell right now. But the thing is, sometimes the thing might look janky on this, but in the actual game, it looks fine. So, before we do anything else in there, go to warehouse, cast part, scroll down until you see composition method 0. Put 0 on there, because if you don't, you can put 1 maybe, but I always put 0 because when I put anything other than that, it looks crazy. And then also doing the composition method, because making sure that the colors are dark skin friendly, you want to make sure that it's going to show up right. So yeah, that's why I use composition method 0, as well as just to make sure it looks right, period. You know, that's just me. Maybe you don't do that, or you don't want to, or somebody else wouldn't do it. I don't know. Anyway, save. Yes, I know we only have one eye. I'm going to show you how to do the other one. First things first, though, I'm going to go ahead and open up the Sims and check this out, see what it looks like, and then I will be back. All right, I've actually done this part like 3 or 4 times, but I kept messing up. So, yeah, open up the game, and I just, like I said, I check things periodically because I just like to make sure as I'm going through this process that everything looks right, that it doesn't look crazy. Now I took my eyelashes and all that off. I'm gonna take my glasses off. This is me. This is my sim me. This is actually not bad. I need to fix the forehead and the eyebrows, but this is not bad. This looks pretty much like me. I can fix it up a little bit, but I'll do that later. Anyway, here is a little bit of inspiration. Before I show you what this looks like, here's some inspiration. This is what my eyeshadow used to look like. Thumbnails, horrible. Horrendous, not good. No. Why? No. This is me. This was me, y'all. This was only me like 2 or 3 years ago. No, not good. So, me. And this is one I did from scratch. Actually, this is not even bad. Not even gonna lie. This is not bad right here. I'd actually still use this on some Sims. This is not bad. Anyway, what I'm saying is, you can do this, okay? Just in case, I get a lot of messages and a lot of different things. If I don't answer and respond, y'all, I am sorry. I am so busy. Currently, technically, I have 3 jobs, but really, I have 2 active jobs that keep me too busy to even do the 3rd one. Okay, so I am so busy. If I'm not responding to you, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and get to what we want to do. So this is what we're looking like right now, and this is actually not terrible. This is not terrible. We're going to fix it better than that. But this is not terrible at all. Not what I thought it was going to look like. That's pretty good. I'm going to put this back in Gimp, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. But as I was saying, you know, I also made this one. This was probably like the first eyeshadow I think I ever made. Horrible. And you couldn't tell me I didn't do a good job. This was actually from like 2015. This is terrible. Horrible. I'm sorry if I'm loud, y'all, but this is so bad. What I'm trying to say is, don't get discouraged, okay? Because you might think I can't do this. This is not good. Now, this one is new. See, as you can see, I have gotten better. You will get better. This is not a hard thing to do, but in all honesty, when you're first doing it, you don't know what you're doing. You're messing up left and right. Okay, you will get there. This is a recent one. This is very good. Actually, very, very good. When I compare to this monstrosity. God. Oh my God. Let me get that off my precious sim because no ma'am. All right, so we're back. And forgive me if my throat sounds horrible. Bear with me. I'm actually going to be out of commission again for a little while because I'm going to get my tonsils removed in December. So yeah, if I sound crazy, that's why. Anyway, continuing. So now this is what we have. Now it looked faded in the game, but it looks faded here. So it is faded. It is a little faded because of all the things we've had to do to it. It looks faded. Plus, again, my picture taking skills are not that great. Once again, forgive me in my throat. My tonsils are coming out, and hopefully this will be better. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna try to speak softly. I kind of been yelling. My throat kind of hurt after I went off on myself for how I used to make eyeshadow. Anyway, next thing's next. We're gonna duplicate this layer. So if you want to turn this off, I like to keep it on because it really helps me see what it might look like on the sim. Now go ahead, right click, sorry, and then duplicate layer. Now it might look a little crazy, you know, but it'll be all right. It'll be all right. You don't have to have the opacity all the way up either. You can play with it. But yeah, sometimes I just duplicate the layer until it starts to just look better, you know? Sometimes you have to do that. You have to play around with the settings. I have 3 layers. And then you can click this right here to merge them all down on top of each other. Remember, whatever order they're in before you merge them down is how they're going to look, you know, how it's going to be when you merge it down. Okay. Now, if you didn't want to do that, because it's, you know, again, we can always go back. You know, undo the eyes. See, what does this look like? But you see, when there's just one, this is what it looks like. And this is without the sim on. Okay. This is, oh, no. Sorry, this is just the first one, So this is what it looks like at first. This is what it looks like next. This is what it looks like next. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop all that down. So now that it's one, we're going to go over here to colors. We're going to go to hue and saturation. And this is where you really get to play with it to make it look right. We're not going to touch hue and lightness right now. Or you can touch lightness if you want. But I don't really feel the need to do that at this moment. So we're going to reset. Let's go to saturation. If you really want it saturated, if you want it black and white, you can do that. We want those colors to kind of pop a little better. So I'm going to turn the saturation up quite a bit. Again, even though you may not see me doing it because I can't just put it in the video every single time, I am going back constantly checking what this looks like in The Sims. And the way I want it might not be the way you want it. You don't have to do it exactly like me, you know? It doesn't have to be that way. But anyway, continuing. Now, what we want to do, we want that to pop a little bit more. You can play around with all of these settings, but I'm going to go to filters. I'm going to go to enhance. Then I'm going to go to sharpen, unmask, unsharp mask, whatever that says, y'all. Anyway, this is where you can kind of make it a little more sharp. You don't really want to mess with the radius too much, but what you want to do is mess with the amount. You don't want it looking like this. That look crazy. But you know, kind of play with it. See what it looks like, you know? You like it like that? Cool, whatever. If you have any other programs that you want to put this thing in and sharpen it up, cool. But like I said, what I'm showing you is free. It's in Gimp. This is what we're doing. And yeah, go ahead. Export to tutorial I1, the same thing. It's just going to save to the same thing. And you go back in the Sims 4 Studio. Now, this is what I like to do. I personally like to add another swatch because I want to see the progress I've been making. So this was the original. This is the next one. We're going to import tutorial I. Okay. It's a little more sharp. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and check this in the Sims again and I will be back. All right. I know this is a completely different sim, but I really just wanted to show y'all the difference real quick. So here's what we were looking like at first. And here's what we look like now. So still not as vibrant as I would like, but you see what I'm saying? Just those few adjustments made us go from, that almost looks black and white. I can barely even see the color. Just changing the saturation, really sharpening it, adding a few duplicate layers. This is what we look like, okay? This is the sim you're going to be seeing this on from now on. I don't feel like going back into my sim and traumatizing her over and over again. Anyway, yeah, that's what it would look like so far. We're going to go back in Gimp and do some more. Okay, so we're back in here. Now, if there was anything else that we wanted to do to kind of make this a little more vibrant than what we're looking at, really it's just kind of going back over the same things we already did, playing around with it some more. If you want to, now that we've done those adjustments and you want to duplicate the layer again, okay, and here's us with just the one, and here's, you know, with two. It does a little bit more. Sometimes you can change the mode of it. So changing the mode, you go over here and just really click. Now that don't look good. That don't look good at all. Absolutely not. Really and truly what I'm just trying to tell you, you can just play around with this stuff. But always go back to normal to see what you did, you know. Oh wow, that really made it pop right there. So here's without that, here's with that. I might turn the opacity down a little bit. All right, I like it. Again, I personally, that was really my last time just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Because it's really not about how I like it. It's about how you want it to look on your sim. So this is some actual eyeshadow I'm going to post and let you download. But of course, you know, you're following me, what I'm doing, but you could be doing this with any kind of eyeshadow. So yours might not look that dull. Mine look dull because I don't know how to take pictures, and now it's a picture of my own eye. Yours might not look dull, so you might not even have to do all of this. But if you did take a picture of your own eye and you have a camera that is a potato like I do, yes, and you're looking a little dull, this is how to fix that. So yeah, I'm just going to keep checking it. But when I get to something I like, when I get to how I like it, I'm going to keep adjusting I'm going to keep adjusting like the saturation. I'm going to adjust these things here. I'm going to go and, like I said, I did the enhance and, you know, sharpen it. I'm going to keep doing that really until I like it. And then I will come back and show you how to make the other eye and yeah, show you the finished product. So this is what we're looking like. Okay. Now, of course, you probably have done that a million times by now. Overwrite it, export it, whatever. Open up, because this is the first one I was doing, and I closed out and went back, and this is the second one. Go ahead, right click, open with Gimp. It's gonna be this same eye. Go ahead, go over here to image, transform, flip horizontally, then long press up and over into the one that you were working on and drop it. Okay. And it should, if you zoom out, now be the same. Now you've got the finished product. You're basically done. So now if you go and export it and you open this up, again, like I said, I like to see my progress, so I just keep going. Now there should be two eyes. Okay, if you want to open it up and see what it looks like with both eyes on the sim, that's great. I'm just gonna finish this tutorial up. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna save it. Oh shoot, I got the sims open, so I can't do that. Let me close it out. Anyway, back in here. So now that we're done with that, we're gonna get back in Gimp. And here's where you can do some like changing the colors and things like that. Okay, I'm gonna show you 2 ways I change the colors. So this is what we have here, and we want to keep this same kind of format, but we just want to change the colors up. You go to colors again, hue and saturation. We went to that earlier, and then really just start. Oh man, how can I put this in the frame? I mean, really all you need to see is one of them, but hue. This is how you change the hue. I like that actually quite a bit. So I'm going to do that. And we're going to export it. Remember, if you want to change it back to the way it originally was, go back to the last thing you did, export it again, and you're good to go. But we're going to add that. We're going to import. Okay, if you want to change the colors, hopefully this works because it's been glitching out on me lately, but go here. It's not working right now. I don't know why it's not been working. Anyway, usually if you right click on this, it'll be a dropper and it'll be whatever color you want, but it's been giving me an error and I don't know why. Oh yeah, I told you I was going to show you one more way to change the color. Sorry. So we're going to go back in here. We're going to go to colors, colorize. Now when you do this, the whole thing is going to turn that color. So keep that in mind. But if you don't mind that, cool. Let's just say we wanted this color. Fine, whatever. Okay, file, overwrite it again. We're gonna open up the thing again. And then, yep, we're gonna just import it. That's what we look like. So I'm gonna continue. And next thing you'll see is how it looks in the game. All right. I'm happy with it very much. I like that. That looks quite a bit like me. So, again, hopefully you were able to follow this tutorial. I know I was a little bit more all over the place than I usually am. I'm going to try to edit this tutorial really, really, really well to where you can't even tell that I was that bad off. Again, I'm very rusty. I have not made any tutorials in a long time, but I've been getting back into making stuff, trying to make time to do my own hobbies that I like to do instead of just working. And I was like, hey, why not? So again, comment, like, share, subscribe. But if you want to reach me to ask a question, it's best to do that on Instagram. And as soon as I get the time, that might be a few days, just keep that in mind. It's not that I'm avoiding you. I really am that busy. Yeah, send me a message on Instagram. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And thanks so much for watching.